Hello and welcome to Crime and Investigation. I am Shams Tahir Khan. Statistics show that on an average 40,000 murders are committed in a year in India. That makes 94 murders a day, 4 murders every hour, and 1 murder every 15 minutes. These figures are not just chilling, but alarming too. Likewise, on an average 30,000 rapes take place every year in this country. That makes it 66 rapes a day, 3 rapes every hour, and 1 rape every 20 minutes. Many of these crimes make national headlines and shock the conscience of innocent civilized citizens. But after the initial uproar, the story fades from memory. But what happened to those cases? Our crime and investigation team have turned the pages of crime records of some of the most infamous crimes to dig up their present status. What happened to the investigations? Were the accused ever punished? Did the victim finally get justice? Here is a look back at those crimes which once took the country by storm.
Eight years later, 7th November 2003, Sessions Court, Delhi.
This court, after going through investigation reports, deliberations and evidences produced herein, finds Sushil Sharma guilty under Indian Penal Code 302 for murder, 120B for criminal conspiracy and 201 for destruction of evidences. This court sentences Sushil Sharma with death penalty to be hanged till death.
12 years later, 19th February 2007, Delhi High Court.
This court agrees with the judgment of the Sessions Court and the sentence of the death penalty to Sushil Sharma continues to be hanged till death.
18 years later, 8th October 2013, Supreme Court, Delhi.
The Tandoor Murder case is not a rarest of rare incident and Sushil Sharma is not a professional criminal. The crime was committed due to frictions in his married life. There is still a hope for reformation. Hence, this court changes the judgment of the Delhi High Court. Sushil Sharma's death sentence is hereby commuted to life imprisonment.
सुशील शर्मा क्योंकि उनसे बहुत प्रेम करते थे और बहुत पॉजिटिव थे, इसलिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा है अपने निर्णय में कि ये उसी सर्कमस्टेंसेस में उस पॉजिटिवनेस के कारण ये ऑल ऑफ अ सडन उस रेज में उन्होंने ये ऑफेंस किया.
Tandoor Murder case, 20 years later, 15 September 2015, Tihar Jail, Delhi. And Sushil Sharma is out of jail on parole without any preconditions. Freedom at last. This freedom is seemingly here to stay. It's very unlikely that Sushil Sharma will ever return to jail. The remaining duration of his life imprisonment sentence might be pardoned as he has already spent 20 years in jail. In fact, it becomes 24 years in jail if we add the number of leaves that a prisoner is entitled to avail according to the Indian Jail Manual. But the final decision to pardon the remaining duration of his life imprisonment lies with the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Najib Jung. The Delhi government has already forwarded its advice on the matter.
A judgment given 20 years later has brought back the infamous Tandoor Murder case back to the national headlines. Convict Sushil Sharma has walked out of prison 2 decades after that fateful night of 2nd July 1995. Before going any further, let's go back to that night and recreate what happened the night of the Tandoor Murder case.
Second July 1995, Gol Market, New Delhi. Government flat number 8/2A, 8:30 p.m. The tranquility of the night is suddenly shattered by gunshots coming from the direction of flat number 8x2A. The neighbors thought it to be the sound of crackers and didn't bother to investigate further. It is quiet again in the complex. After some time, the front door of flat number 8x2 opens suddenly. A shadow comes out, dragging something heavy wrapped in polythene. It drags the weight with difficulty towards the Maruti 800 car parked outside and somehow manages to put it in the boot. The shadow then quickly shuts the boot and gets it into the driving seat. The car then speeds away into the night. 9:30 p.m. Tio Bridge, New Delhi. It was getting darker and the traffic thinning out. The Maruti 800 reaches the Tio Bridge and the driver slows down. He starts scanning the bridge and its surroundings as if looking for something. He slowly crosses the bridge, takes a U-turn and is back again on the bridge. He senses an opportune moment and pulls over almost halfway into the bridge. He switches off the engine and gets out of the car. His plan is to dump the polythene-covered bundle lying in the boot of his car into the river below. Traffic is thin but not out. People are still crossing the bridge in their cars, on their bikes and cycles. Suddenly, he develops cold feet, thinking that somebody might see him throwing something big and heavy into the river. He starts sweating with fear and quickly gets back into the driver's seat. He contemplates his next move. His face lightens up as he comes up with a new plan. He starts the engine and once again speeds away. The car reaches Delhi's Connaught Place. It takes an exit from the outer circle and reaches the Ashok Yatri Niwas complex. The car comes to a halt just outside the Baghiya restaurant. "10:30 p.m. Baghiya restaurant, Ashok Yatri Niwas, Connaught Place, New Delhi. The restaurant still has some customers still finishing their dinner. The driver enters the restaurant and heads towards Keshav, the manager. The driver is none other than Sushil Sharma, the then president of the Delhi Youth Congress. In fact, he was also the owner of the Baghiya restaurant. He orders Keshav to close the restaurant immediately. Keshav is taken aback, seeing a somewhat distraught Sushil Sharma. After the last of the customers leave, the restaurant's lights are switched off. But the tandoor, or the clay oven, was still burning.
Connaught Place in New Delhi is home to several reputed restaurants. People from all walks of life visit this prime attraction of the capital to satisfy their palate. Most of the restaurants use the tandoor or clay oven to make rotis, tikkas and kebabs. But on that fateful night of 2nd July 1995, the humble tandoor became infamous.
11:30 p.m. Baghiya restaurant, Ashok Yatri Niwas, New Delhi. The restaurant was being vacated. Sushil directed Keshav to send all other employees home as early as possible. Only Sushil Sharma and his employee Keshav remained in the restaurant. Sushil proceeds towards his car and opens the boot. He brings out the polythene-wrapped bundle and places it on the ground. Inside is a dead body. The dead body of a woman. Sushil and Keshav carry the body inside the restaurant and head towards the tandoor, which is behind the seating area. The body is stuffed inside the burning tandoor, but the flame of the tandoor was low and the body doesn't burn fast enough for Sushil. So to increase the intensity of the fire, they feed blocks of butter into the tandoor and stoke it. It works. Detection of the crime was quite dramatic. High flames of the burning tandoor were spotted by a woman named Anaro, a vegetable seller who was getting ready to sleep on the footpath on the side of the Ashok Yatri Niwas. She thought the restaurant was on fire and raised an alarm. A constable named Abdul Nadir Gunju, posted at Connaught Place, was patrolling Ashoka Road when he heard the woman screaming about the fire. Abdul runs towards Anaro and notices the flames growing higher in the Ashok Yatri Niwas complex. He runs towards the adjacent wall and scales it. And this is how the terrifying, cold-blooded and infamous Tandoor murder case unraveled.
मैं दौड़कर उनके पास पहुंचा और मैंने भी देखा यहाँ आग लग रहे थे, यहाँ से ऊपर फर्स्ट फ्लोर तक आग लग रहे थे। तो मैं फटाफट वहाँ एक पब्लिक बूथ था, बूथ में गए तो लॉक लगा हुआ था। फिर मैं दौड़ के अपना वेस्टर्न कोर्ट में पुलिस पिकेट में गए, वहाँ से वायरलेस सेट ले लिया। वायरलेस सेट लेके उसमें उनसे मैसेज दे दिया, मैसेज अपना कंट्रोल रूम को और पुलिस स्टेशन को दिया। उसका नाम कैशव है, वो खड़ा हुआ था और उन्होंने इसमें भट्टी में लकड़ियाँ डाल के आग लगा रहे थे। तो मैं आते ही उनसे पूछा, भाई इतना आग लग रहा है तो होटल को भी आग लग सकता है, आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? तब उन्होंने मुझसे कहा, आप मेरा इज्जत बचा दो, मैं अपना बचा दूंगा। इतना में मैं दौड़कर अंदर गए, वहाँ से एक बाल्टी पानी ला के डाला।
फिर भी आग काफ़ी थी, हमने फटाफट पानी डाला। उसके बाद थोड़ा सा लकड़ी वगैरह हटा के देखा तो ऐसा लगा कि अंदर कोई बॉडी जल रही है। पहले ऐसा लगा कि शायद किसी जानवर की बॉडी है। फिर इंटेस्टाइन वगैरह नज़र आया तो इंटेस्टाइन पता चल जाता थोड़ा सा कि आदमी के हैं कि जानवर के। तब हमने दोबारा उस तरफ से जाके देखा तो वहाँ से पूरा क्लियर हो गया कि बॉडी किसी ह्यूमन बीइंग की है, क्योंकि उसमें फेस नज़र आ गया, हाथ नज़र आ गए थे, पैर। फिर इतने मैसेज दे दिया और सीनियर ऑफिसर्स आ गए सारे।
The spine-chilling incident was widely reported in newspapers the next morning. Matloob Karim, a young Congress leader too, read the news and reached the Parliament Street police station. It was Matloob Karim who identified the victim as Naina Sahni, wife of Sushil Sharma. Matloob reiterated that Naina Sahni was murdered by none other than Sushil himself. What perplexed all was, why would Sushil murder his own wife? That only Sushil could tell, but by then he had left Delhi.
Love, politics and adultery. Always a lethal combination. C&I team covered all the angles and plots in the case so that nothing is left out. It was love that brought Naina Sahni and Sushil Sharma together. But what could have transpired between them for a seemingly happy marriage to end so cruelly inside a tandoor? It all began with a phone call. But how could a phone call turn Sushil into a killer? His journey from being a promising youth Congress leader to being a convict in the Tandoor murder case is both shocking and sinister.
July 10th, 1995, Bangalore. Fleeing Delhi, Sushil Sharma surfaced in South India. He had shaved his head and tried to disguise himself to conceal his identity. But on the 10th of July 1995, the police got a tip-off that Sushil was to reach Bangalore court to seek anticipatory bail. The police wasted no time and lay in wait for him. As soon as Sushil Sharma reached the Bangalore court, he was arrested. Sushil Sharma opened up after his arrest. He suspected his wife Naina and Matloob Karim of having an illicit affair. Naina and Matloob were college mates and fellow youth Congress members as well. On the night of the 2nd of July 1995, when Sushil reached home, he saw Naina talking on the phone. The moment Naina saw her husband Sushil entering the room, she hung up. Sushil grabbed the phone and redialed the number. It was Matloob Karim on the other end. There were heated exchanges between Sushil and Naina. Sushil, in a fit of rage, took out his revolver and shot Naina 3 times at close range. One bullet missed her and hit the wall of the room, but the other 2 hit Naina fatally, one in the head and the other in the neck. Death was instantaneous. The Tandoor murder case had many firsts. It was the first murder case in India to have DNA tests done. Even the post-mortem was done twice. It was the second post-mortem which established that Naina died from gunshot wounds and not from the fire in the tandoor. 31st August 1995, Sessions Court takes up the case for trial. 9th May 1996, trial court frames charges under Section 302 for murder, 120B for criminal conspiracy, and 201 for destruction of evidence against 5 persons. January 1999, court records evidence in the case. 27th September 1999, day-to-day proceedings of the case begin. 26th August 2003, last day of hearing. 23rd September 2003, the trial court reserves its final order. 3rd November 2003, court convicts Sushil Sharma. 7th November 2003, Sharma sentenced to death and Keshav gets 7 years rigorous imprisonment. December 2003, Sharma moves Delhi High Court challenging the trial court judgment. Hearings went on for 7 years at the Sessions Court. The case took another 10 years in the High Court and the Supreme Court to reach its culmination. In these 17 years, the courts have upheld the death sentence twice and later commuted it to life imprisonment for Sushil Sharma. Naina Sahni died, but her killer and husband Sushil Sharma is a free man now, and he's looking forward to enjoying his freedom forever and ever.
The Tandoor murder case is a classic example of how justice takes years and years to prevail in this country. But in the end, did Naina Sahni's family get real justice? That is for you to decide. Next week, CNI will be back at the same time on same channel with a new sensational case which once took the country by storm. Good night and keep watching India Today.